What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at this Predator 79cc motor from Harbor Freight. This is actually going to be going on a little piece of lawn equipment for one of my dad's buddies. Needs to be put back together. So this is a 3 horsepower engine, and I believe it is 4 or 5 foot-pounds of torque. It's a very lightweight engine. It only weighs 22 pounds with 0 gas and oil in it, so you could pick this thing up with one hand. Starting off looking at it, the recoil is about the same as a 212. However, the airbox is a lot different. And the throttle linkage is over here instead of usually over by the carburetor, like on a 212, or the 301, or the 420. And looking at the top of the air cleaner, you can see where the choke is, and it's also different than the 212, and so is the throttle mechanism on the carburetor. So the linkage is over here, and then the throttle stop. We also have a on and off switch. This is a weird carburetor because if you look right there, it almost looks like a main jet right under that throttle thing. I don't know if that's some sort of pilot jet or the actual main jet, but it's unusual to see it right there. And then looking at the bottom of the carburetor, you can see the bolt where it bolts the float bolt on, but you also got the screw with a spring on it, which is kind of unusual. I don't know what that's for, whether it's some drain. I don't think it's some sort of adjustment, but it's kind of weird seeing a spring on it. There's no gas shutoff on this motor either. Looking at the back of the motor, there is no oil drain in the back of the motor, and there's no oil fill in the back of the motor. They're just blank. Looking at the valve cover actually looks the same size as the 212. And taking a look at the muffler, it's a lot different from the 212, being that it comes up over the top of the motor, and it's a lot wider and it's a lot flatter compared to the 212. The pipe coming out of it looks a lot more restrictive than the 212s, because it looks really narrow right here and then it widens back up, and the way it's angled like that is just pretty restrictive. Another thing different about the two engines, which is unique to this one, is there's no cylinder head cover on it to keep the head cool and the flywheel spins. It's just blocked off right here. Then looking in here, you can see the gas line and the fitting, the governor rod right there. Then looking on the side of the motor, we got a crankshaft with multiple different patterns to bolt things onto this motor. You got the standard bolt pattern right here, and you also got bolt holes right here as well, and another one up there. So it gives you a couple different options for what you can bolt this motor to. It's got a 5/8 crankshaft. Then coming to this side, this is where you have the oil drain and the oil fill on this side. And taking a look at this sticker, if I can get it to focus, you can see that this is a rather old motor. It's brand new. It's barely ever been run, but it is for the 2014 model year. So it is 6 years old. I assume the emissions aren't as good as a newer one would be, because pretty much all the difference is between year to year. They change the emissions for better emissions, but the power usually stays the same. And now we pretty much came full circle on this engine. One more thing I would like to mention is that there is no bolt holes to go through the side of the block. They actually thread into the block from the bottom, so that's one thing to think about it. So now we're going to start this bad boy up and listen to it. It actually sounds very close to a 212, and it's actually about just as loud. Alright, we got her running right here. She's a little bit cold right now. And there you have it, the Predator 79cc engine.